Government Relations Bill Act, what is in the Transition for Devolved Government Bill, what is in Urban Areas Act, because unless you can fully understand the kind of mandate that has been conferred to you by the Constitution and the various laws that have been made, I think you will be groping in the dark. So this is an issue that needs to be reflected upon very seriously. And more importantly, one must understand this. The governor of Nairobi is going to be the first among equals. Why is that? Because 60% of the entire gross national product of the Republic of Kenya is going to be produced here. So whoever becomes the governor of Nairobi will have to think whether he has the capacity to engage the entire country. But even more importantly, you will be a governor of the national capital, you will be a governor of a regional capital, you will be a governor of the international diplomatic capital as far as Africa is concerned. And Nairobi is not a capital like any other in Africa. If you look at the United Nations in New York, the next most important diplomatic capital is Geneva. The third one is Vienna. And the fourth one is Nairobi. Therefore, this is not a job of people to come and experiment. This is a job of an individual that has the capacity to manage, and I have demonstrated that capacity because I was the chairman of the Federation of Kenya Employers, and this is an election that is you are given by the people who run employment in this country. I have also been a chairman of the Kenya Private Sector Alliance. Again, the entire business community in this country, they surely must have seen something in this person. You are elected. So I am saying, yes, I may not have said I'll run for the office, but I'm doing serious consultations, and part of this consultation and engagement is what we have today here. The men and women that are listening to me, they will be able to make a judgment as to whether this person can prosecute the very serious agenda and challenges of Nairobi County.
Timothy, when we were growing up in this city of Nairobi, Nairobi was known as the green city in the sun. Yes. You know this. Yes. Can we restore this city to its former glory? You think it will be possible?
This is something that is very, very possible. It requires a lot of hard work, and it requires the person who understands that we have come from a past where we had that glory, we have gone into a lull and destroyed that glory, and now we have the capability ourselves to restore that glory. So it is a task that is possible. We are able to do that. There are, of course, very many challenges, Jeff, that are facing this city. But I would like just to draw your attention to the fact that when I declared my intention to vie for this seat, I placed my governorship on three main agendas. Number one is security and safety, because Nairobi is going to be driven by security and safety. If you have a safe and secure city, you do expect that all the other things are going to work. So that is number one. Number two, we are going to run on an agenda of providing jobs and opportunities. We know, and Babu here has said it correct, we are churning very many people into the jobs market, but we are not deliberately doing or purposely making and creating those opportunities. We must start deliberately doing that. When we create a secure capital, I want to say that we have created a 24-hour economy. That 24-hour economy will create a job, 2 jobs for every job possible. In other words, you are able to create work for 2 other people when you have employed one. That is on jobs and opportunities. We are able to catalyze economic activity so that people are able to demand more people to employ. The third one, because I want to be very brief on this, is infrastructure. And infrastructure deals with the following. 1, public transport. We must bring sanity back to our public transport. There is no reason, Jeff, why one should be paying 200 bob to Moja when it rains. There's no reason. There is no reason why you should be paying 100 bob to Kino when it rains, or even paying that when it is not raining. Why do we have that public transport system that is not providing good services to Kenyans? It is because the government has stepped out of it. And therefore, our county government should be able to step in and save the mwananchi. We are going to involve the very same people who are running that public transport system to improve it. We are not saying that we are going to chase them away. They are going to be the ones to improve it. We are going to provide a structure. We are going to provide guidelines. We are going to provide standards. Fares should be properly regulated. Of course, making sure that the people who are giving that service earn their money, and you are able to provide that service to Nairobians and to Kenyans at large. Now, within that infrastructure agenda, we have housing. You know that our housing, we have had very high demand, but the supply side has been poor, especially for the lower income. And therefore, our county government should be able to look at this sector, give solutions for affordable housing, give services to low-income areas, and by services I mean water, electricity, and roads, so that we have decent people who are living decent lives. We should be able to give people decent living. So within that, Jeff, and I'm talking this because I have seen it on the ground. I'm very certain that it comes, wananchi want services. They want practical services. It is not about theory. It is about practical services. If you talk about cleanliness, garbage collection, they want their garbage to be collected. If you talk about street lighting so that we are safe, they want to see the light. They do not want to be told how you get it. They want to see the light. They want the basics. They want the basics. Yeah. And you must be able to understand, and I'm sure the audience understands, that it is these basics. This is where we went wrong. We started theorizing too much. You want water, provide water. You want us to harvest water, we must harvest water. We must provide people with security so that they're able to circulate. It is that basic.
Let's talk more about that after the break. Before we go to the break, real quick, Babu, do you guys feel safe out there? Do you feel safe in this city late at night when you're going back and forth?
Actually, there's a lot of insecurity in the University of Nairobi, actually, especially the roundabout main campus.
Yep.
And most of our students, when they come from the CBD, from the town center, actually when they go back late at night, most of them are attacked, and we're really worried about this source of insecurity.
Let's talk about that after the break, gentlemen, because insecurity, biggest factor. Also corruption, the big C. Will that ever be curbed? And this, like KK said, is the biggest economy out of all the counties. Let's talk that after the break. And also, questions from the audience. What are your thoughts? What would you like to hear from these gentlemen? First, let's take a break. We are Facing the Nation, and we are back in a moment. Welcome back to Face the Nation. The topic on this day, the governorship of the County of Nairobi, county number 47, according to the new constitution. Now, before we go back to our panel of guests, we went around this county of Nairobi to ask the people, what are the issues? What are the topics? What irks them? What plagues them the most? This is what they had to say.
Need a very transparent and accountable kind of a government, because the institution, we are now entrusting our rights on it. So we don't want a kind of a semi-governor. We need a fully fledged governor so that to address the issue, so that he is in a position to address the issue of the security.
Kwa kweli, iwapo kutapatikana mtu ama gavana ambaye atakuja kwa roho ya kujitolea kabisa, mhanga akiwa ameamua kupigana na kidonda hiki ambacho kinaitwa ufisadi katika taifa letu la Kenya. Mwanzo akiweza kupambana na kidonda hicho ambacho kinaitwa ufisadi, atakuwa amesaidia mwananchi wa Kenya sana.
The last 2 weeks, the taps in my house have run dry. And even what the City Council of Nairobi is, or the water company, is not trying to use alternative means of sourcing water. It is relying on Dakaini Dam.
We want equal distribution of wealthy in Nairobi. That governor ambaye hatakuwa tribalist lazima asingatie kuona ya kwamba hakuna mtu analala njaa Nairobi, na hakuna mtu ambaye anakosa kufanya kitu chochote. Kila mtu awe anafanya kitu. Akija hata kutembea Nairobi, tuwe na provision ya mtu kufanya business or awe anafanya kazi.
Vijana wengi wa Nairobi hawana kazi, na shamba yetu Nairobi hakuna kitu tunaweza tegemea kama tunaweza tuma watu wakalime Nairobi. If we can mobilize the funds from the government, atuletee sisi watu wa Nairobi, akuje hata kama ni hizi vitu za ku recycle garbage, watengeneze industries za recycle garbage in every constituency ya hii town, at least it will create employment, something like that. Alafu tena zile viwanja zetu zote zimekuwa grabbed, vitu kama basketball, hizo ndio shamba watu wa Nairobi wanaweza tegemea.
City Hall, kwa kusema ukweli, my dear brother, employment, watu wamefanya graduates nini, watu wamesoma Kenya hii, hakuna mchezo. Na hii City Hall iliandika watu zamani sana, hiyo ni ukweli, that's the truth. Waliandika watu zamani sana, na watu wanakufa hapa, na watu wanaretire, na watu wanatafuta kazi hapa. Hata watu ambao unaona hapa, kwa kusema ukweli, they don't have job. Tusijidanganye, hiyo ndio ukweli, they don't have jobs. Na hapa City Hall kuna wengine wazee ambao sijui waliandikwa rika ya baba yangu, bado wanafanya kazi, na kuna vijana ambao wanatakana, ambao energetic enough and they have got good education.
Ningeomba yule mtu atakuwa governor ya kwanza katika mji huu, if he has no idea that there is a great deal of immorality in Nairobi, and to bring sanity to the city, kama aone there is a big immoral issue in Nairobi, he has no business becoming the governor of Nairobi.
All right, you heard the topics there, you heard the issues, you heard the challenges. Timothy Muriuki, we talked about insecurity a moment ago, and you said that the city is safer than it used to be. However, Babu Owino, there, president of the SONU, says it's still not that safe in this city. In fact, that term, which I'm sure you've heard very often, Nairobi, still rings true. Your thoughts? Is it a safer city than it used to be?
Thank you very much, Jeff. Nairobi has lapses of security. You will not completely say that it is secure. You have incidences, high incidences of insecurity, and therefore I would say it is not secure.
What is the solution to that, Timothy? Is it more police? Is it more CCTVs? What's the solution?
We have, Jeff, in our agenda, we have 3 or 4 solutions that are going to be implemented immediately. Number 1, we must use technology in surveillance. Therefore, electronic surveillance is a must, because we cannot have policemen everywhere. So that is number 1. Number 2, we must create a Nairobi County Police Unit so that they address security issues, because Nairobi is peculiar. As we enforce the laws in Nairobi, we must be able to have policemen who are properly remunerated, who have special allowances, who have enough vehicles. I propose that in every ward, out of the 87 wards, we must have at least 1 station, and each one of them must have a minimum of 5 vehicles and a minimum of 20 motorcycles. And those people must also have decent housing. They must be insured. I am saying that Nairobi County is able and can afford that.
But okay, that's a good point, Timothy, but we hear stories. Police stations don't have enough money to fuel their own vehicles. You want to have...
I want to have a Nairobi County Police Unit that we can directly, as Nairobi County, invest in. This is going to be in conjunction with the Inspector General. What am I saying? I am saying that instead of waiting for the national government to fund our police, we will step in and fund the Nairobi County Police Unit. In other words, serving in Nairobi for any policeman will be a good job.
Yeah. KK, do you agree with that? Is that possible in light of things?
Yeah, first of all, we must be informed by Schedule 4 of the roles of the county government. Security